Hi, welcome to lesson 10 in our short 14-day introduction to satellite Earth observation. Today I'm going to explain to you how you export images and the different ways you can, or the different formats you might want to export your results in. So let's generate some results. We're going to go, this is the south of Malawi, so I'm going to choose an area over some of the tea estates down near Cholo, south of Blantyre. I'm going to input some data. I'm going to take some satellite data from Sentinel-2 multispectral. I'm going to use the standard Blox here. I want to look just over the dry season, so I'm going to go back to last year, so around about May in 2022. So maybe the start of May. I'm going to take it through to the end of 2022, so December. Let's choose Christmas Day on 2022. So that's most of the year, but during the dry period. We're going to just leave the default of 40% for removing clouds. And in the first instance, we're going to aggregate over time. But what I also want to do is do an index. So I'm going to add in here, after we've got rid of the clouds, we're going to do a normalized difference vegetation index, an NDVI. And we're going to calculate, in this case, we're going to choose the maximum, because that also helps to get rid of the influence of clouds, because any clouds will have a lower NDVI than any of the vegetation. So we'll choose the maximum one, but we're going to look over the entire period in the first instance, and we're going to choose a single band. We're going to look at NDVI. Let's choose a sensible scale like we have done in previous lessons. We'll go from -1 to 1, and we'll choose a color ramp that goes from blue to green, so we're going to use the delta. So we're going to save that, and if we run that, we will get a single image of NDVI over the tea estates near Cholo. So here it is there. That's our -1 to 1. You can see the darker areas are the highest vegetation. Now I'm going to move my picture down to the bottom here, because I want you to look up to the top right where we've got there this picture of a camera. If you click on that, what that will do is it will download a PNG file of what's in the view in your map area. So that PNG file will just be a picture of the map. If you want to export that data as actual data rather than just a picture, so the PNG is a generic format, you can put that into your presentation slides and into documents or onto web pages. Everything will read it. If you want to export a GeoTIFF, now the GeoTIFF is a more scientific data format. We can choose the resolution, because if you want a full resolution, that the data size is going to be very large. And we'll choose the date on that, we'll save it, and that's going to export a GeoTIFF. Now, for the interests of this little video, I'm not going to run it, but if you run that, it will start to export a GeoTIFF, and then you'll be able to download it later. It takes a little bit of time to generate the GeoTIFF. The final way that you can export the data layer is you can export, if you click on the layer itself, it says export PNG. So it knows that it's a static image, and this is different from the camera, because the camera will also download the base map and everything else around it, whereas this will just export the layer of interest, in this case the NDVI. Now, we saw in a previous lesson how to generate a time series was by not merging everything over the entire time period, but in this case we'll do it by month. And so it's now collecting together all of the satellite images that happen in each month and squashing them together to create a single image for each month. And so we've now got a time sequence here. And so this sequence in the background, let me just move my face out of the way, is that you can see we've generated a sequence of about 8 images that create this time series of maximum NDVI over the tea estates. Now, because this is a sequence in a time series, we don't want to export it as a single image. But if we click on here for generating the output, you'll notice it doesn't say export PNG anymore, it says export GIF. So if you click that, what it will do is it will export an animated GIF. And that animated GIF you can share on social media, you can put on a website, you can send to other people or put it into presentations. That will read that, but it will be stored as an animated file of that sequence of the animation we saw here with the NDVI. In the next image, in the next lesson, I'm going to explore a little bit more about the data catalog.